I never met my grandfather. My mom didn't talk about him much. Just said he was a hermit who lived alone in the mountains and wanted nothing to do with family. So when I got the call from a lawyer saying I'd inherited his property, I didn't know what to expect. The drive took 6 hours. The last 2 were on dirt roads that barely qualified as roads. My GPS kept glitching, telling me to turn around. Maybe I should have listened. The property was a fire lookout tower that had been converted into a tiny house back in the 80s. It sat on wooden stilts about 8 feet off the ground, surrounded by dead pine trees that looked like they'd been burned decades ago but never cleared. The first thing that hit me was how maintained everything looked. The wood wasn't rotting. The windows were clean. The stairs up to the front door were sturdy, freshly painted even. For a place where an old man had died alone a year ago, it looked like someone was still living there. I unlocked the door with the key the lawyer sent me. The inside was immaculate. No dust. No smell of decay or neglect. The furniture was arranged neatly. There were books on the shelf organized by height. Everything had its place. I opened the fridge. There was food inside. Milk expired by exactly 1 year. Eggs same date. Bread covered in mold. Like he'd gone shopping the day before he died and just never came back. But here's the thing that made my skin crawl: the calendar on the wall. It was still on October 2023. The day he died, someone had drawn a red X through the date. And written in shaky handwriting, "It's done." What was done? I spent the afternoon going through his things, trying to understand who this man was. There weren't many personal items. No photos. No letters. Just books, mostly about forestry, wildlife, and weirdly, a whole shelf about medieval locksmithing. Then I found the diary. It was hidden under the mattress, wrapped in a plastic bag like he was trying to protect it. The leather was old and cracked. I sat on his bed and started reading the last few entries. October 10th, 2023, they came again last night. 3rd time this week. I didn't open the door. I'll never open the door. October 15th, 2023, found another one this morning near the tree line. I buried it behind the shed like the others. How many more are there? October 23rd, 2023, I think they know I'm the last one. The knocking is getting louder. October 31st, 2023, it's done. That was the last entry. He died on October 31st. I sat there staring at those words until the sun started setting. I should have left. Driven back to the city and hired someone to clear the place out. But something kept me there. Curiosity maybe. Or stupidity. As darkness fell, I made myself some instant ramen on his camping stove and tried to rationalize what I'd read. The old man was probably senile. Dementia. Paranoia. Living alone for 30 years does things to your mind. That's what I told myself. I was washing the dishes when I heard it. Silence. 10 seconds of silence. It was coming from below the house, under the floorboards. My hands froze in the soapy water. The sound was rhythmic, deliberate, like someone knocking on wood from underneath. Tap, tap, tap. I dried my hands slowly, telling myself it was pipes, or the wind, or the house settling. Old houses make noise. But this wasn't old house noise. This was someone knocking. I grabbed my phone and turned on the flashlight. Walked to the door and stepped outside onto the small porch. The cold mountain air hit my face. It was dead silent except for that sound. Tap, tap, tap. I went down the stairs carefully, my flashlight beam cutting through the darkness. The house sat on stilts, creating a crawl space underneath. I'd noticed it earlier but didn't think much of it. Now as I shined my light under there, I saw it. A trapdoor. Built into the ground directly beneath the center of the house. And it was covered, secured with 6 different padlocks. 6. All different sizes, different brands. Like someone had gone out of their way to make absolutely sure that door stayed closed. The knocking stopped. I stood there in the silence, my flashlight trained on that trapdoor, barely breathing. Then I heard it. A voice. Small. Young. A child's voice. Grandpa. My blood went cold. Grandpa, is that you? I took a step back. Can you let me out now? I've been good. I promise I've been good. I ran. I didn't stop running until I was in my car with the doors locked. My hands were shaking so bad I could barely get the key in the ignition. A child's voice. Under the house. Behind 6 padlocks. I sat there with the engine running, staring at that house lit up by my headlights. Everything looked normal. Peaceful even. But I knew what I'd heard. I grabbed my phone and searched for the local sheriff's department. My hands were still trembling as I dialed. It rang 4 times before someone picked up. Sheriff's Department, Deputy Morris speaking. Hi, yeah, I need to report something. I'm at my grandfather's property off Route 7, the old fire lookout, and there's... What's your grandfather's name? Robert Chin. He died last year and I inherited. Stay right there. Don't go back inside the house. Don't go near the crawl space. Someone will be there in 20 minutes. He hung up. I sat there in my car, engine running, for 19 minutes. The whole time I kept staring at that trapdoor visible in my headlights, expecting it to burst open. When the sheriff's truck pulled up, it wasn't a deputy. It was the sheriff himself. An old guy, maybe 70, with the kind of face that had seen too much. He walked over to my window. I rolled it down. Daniel Chin? Yeah, that's me. Listen, there's something under the house. A voice. A kid's voice asking for... I know. He cut me off. Your grandfather called me the night he died. Told me if anything ever happened to him, to make sure that trapdoor stayed locked. Said I'd understand when the time came. What the hell is down there? The sheriff looked back at the house, then at me. Son, you need to leave this property. Tonight. And you can't come back. What? This is my property now. I inherited it. You can't just... Your grandfather spent 30 years making sure something stayed contained. He was the last one willing to do it. Now he's gone and that responsibility doesn't fall on you. It falls on us. What are you talking about? Who's yours? And what's contained? He was quiet for a long moment. Then he said something that made my stomach drop. You read the diary, didn't you? He mentioned burying things behind the shed. I nodded. We found 12 graves back there. Small ones. Children. All from cases that went cold between 1960 and 1990. I felt like I was going to throw up. Your grandfather wasn't a victim, son. And he wasn't a killer either. He was a guardian. This land, something's wrong with it. Always has been. The people who lived here before the fire tower knew it. They built that containment chamber and took shifts watching it. Your grandfather was the last one left willing to do the job. But the voice isn't a child. Not anymore. Maybe it never was. He stepped back from my car. Go home, Daniel. Forget about this place. You'll receive paperwork in a few weeks about the property seizure. Don't fight it. You can't just take my property. We can. And we will. Eminent domain. National security. Take your pick of legal justifications. This isn't negotiable. He walked back to his truck, got in, and drove away. I sat there another 10 minutes looking at that house. Then I drove away and never looked back. 3 weeks later, I got a certified letter from the state. The property had been seized under eminent domain for environmental contamination concerns. No hearing. No appeal. Just gone. I couldn't let it go. I hired a private investigator to look into my grandfather's history in that land. What he found made everything worse. Between 1960 and 1990, 12 children disappeared in that area. All different years. All different circumstances. Some were camping with families. Others were on school trips. One was a local kid who wandered into the woods and never came out. None of the bodies were ever found. Until my grandfather started burying them behind his shed. The PI also found newspaper clippings from the 1950s. Before the fire tower was built, there was a small community there. 15 families. One day in 1957, they all abandoned their homes in the same week. No explanation. Just left everything behind and scattered across the country. The last article he found was from 1959. It was about the fire tower being built. The headline read, "New lookout station to monitor remote forest area." But there was a quote at the end from one of the construction workers. We kept hearing sounds from underground while we were digging the foundation. Knocking sounds. The foreman made us pour the concrete anyway, but half the crew quit before the job was done. Said it felt like we were building a prison, not a lookout tower. My grandfather died in that house. Alone. After 30 years of keeping something locked away. Now no one's watching it anymore. I still have nightmares about that voice. The small, childlike voice asking to be let out. Promising it had been good. Sometimes I wonder if the padlocks are still holding. And sometimes, late at night, I wonder what happens if they don't. I deleted my YouTube channel 3 months ago. 400,000 subscribers. Gone. Just like that. People keep asking me why. They think it's because of burnout or drama or someone canceled me. But that's not it. It's because of what happened during my last stream. And because I can't stop thinking about that 10th name. Let me back up. My name's Chloe and I was an urban explorer. I'd stream myself going into abandoned places. Hospitals, prisons, asylums, whatever. My viewers loved it. The thrill, the danger, the history. I made decent money from ads and sponsors. My thing was taking dares from the chat. Viewers would donate and send me challenges. Touch that creepy doll. Stay in the dark room for 5 minutes. Read the graffiti out loud. Stuff like that. The bigger the donation, the crazier the dare I'd do. It was all in good fun. I never felt like I was in real danger. Until the weather station. I found it through some Urbex forums. An old meteorological station on top of a mountain in Oregon, abandoned since the early 2000s when they switched to automated systems. Remote. Creepy. Perfect content. The hike up took 3 hours. I was streaming the whole way, chatting with viewers, showing the scenery. 12,000 people watching live. Everything was normal. The station itself was bigger than I expected. A 2-story concrete building with massive satellite dishes on the roof and broken windows. The front door was hanging off its hinges. I went inside with my camera rig and flashlight. The chat was going crazy with dares already. Touch the control panel, $5. Sit in the operator's chair, $10. Read the log book, $15. Standard stuff. I did them all. My viewers were eating it up. Then I saw the username. 10000000001. Just numbers. New account. 0 followers. They donated $100. The dare popped up in my chat overlay. Read the names on the wall out loud. I looked around. What names? I don't see any. Then I found them. In the back room, someone had carved names into the concrete wall with something sharp. Deep gouges. Not graffiti. Not casual. These were carved with force, with intention. 9 names each with a year. David Chin 2003. Sarah Mills 2005. Marcus Whitmore 2008. Jennifer Hale 2011. Robert Kim 2013. Amanda Foster 2015. Tyler Brooks 2017. Jessica Reeves 2019. Michael Torres 2021. The chat exploded. Don't read them. Chloe, stop. Get out now. Who is that username? But I was already reading them out loud, one by one for the stream. That's what I did. That's what they paid for. When I finished the last name, everything went wrong at once. My camera's battery died. Full charge to dead in 1 second. The backup battery died. My phone died. The stream cut to black. I was standing in that back room in complete darkness. The only sound was my breathing and the wind whistling through the broken windows. I fumbled for my flashlight. Dead. I just replaced the batteries that morning. I felt my way along the wall back to the main room where there was more light from the windows. My hands were shaking. I just needed to get outside, get back to my car, figure out what happened. That's when I saw it in the window reflection. Someone standing behind me. I spun around. Nothing there. I looked back at the reflection. Still there. A figure. Just standing. Watching. I ran. I didn't stop running until I was back at my car. I sat there for 20 minutes trying to calm down, trying to make sense of what happened. Equipment doesn't just die like that. All of it at once. It's not possible. I drove home and immediately checked my stream archives. 12,000 people had been watching. The stream ran for 2 hours and 17 minutes before cutting out. Everything was there, me hiking, entering the building, reading the names. Then I noticed the comments. Who donated that? I don't see that username in the chat. There's number 10000000001 in the viewer list. Chloe, why did you read those names? I checked the donation logs. Nothing from that username. But I saw it. It was there. The chat overlay showed it on my screen. Then I did something I shouldn't have done. I went frame by frame through the last few seconds of the stream before it cut out. Looking at that window reflection. The figure was there. Clear as day in the glass. Standing right behind where I was. But here's what made my blood run cold. I counted the names on that wall 3 times before I read them. I was sure. 9 names. 9 years. In the final frame of my stream before everything went dark, you can see the wall behind me. A 10th name was starting to appear in the concrete. Fresh gouges forming letter by letter. Chloe. I posted one final video 2 days later. Explained what happened. Told my viewers I was done. Deleted everything. People thought I was lying. Trying to create some viral horror story. But they didn't see what I saw in that reflection. They didn't feel what I felt in that room. And they don't have the dreams. Every night since then, I dream I'm back in that weather station. Back in that room. And in the dream, I'm not holding a camera. I'm holding something sharp. And I'm carving my name into the wall. Last week, I got a message on Instagram from a username I didn't recognize. Just numbers. 10000000002. The message said, "Thank you for reading them. You're almost ready." I haven't opened Instagram since. I've been geocaching for 8 years. If you don't know what that is, it's basically a worldwide treasure hunt. People hide containers, geocaches, in interesting locations and post the coordinates online. You use GPS to find them, sign the logbook inside, and log your find on the app. Most geocaches are pretty simple. A plastic container under a rock, or a magnetic key holder stuck to a guardrail. But some of them are special. Multi-stage puzzles, elaborate hides, places that take real effort to reach. Those are the ones I live for. I found the Forgotten Tower on a geocaching website while browsing for challenging hides in Montana. It had a difficulty rating of 5 out of 5 and a terrain rating of 4.5. The coordinates pointed to an old radio tower deep in the mountains, accessible only by a 4-mile hike. But here's what caught my attention. The cache had been online for 8 years. Over 300 people had marked it on their wish lists. Dozens had attempted it. 0 successful finds. Every single log said the same thing. Couldn't locate it. We'll try again. Got to the location but felt wrong. Turned back. Made it to the tower but something felt off. Left early. DNF, did not find. Weather got weird. 8 years. 0 finds. That's basically impossible for a cache this popular. Either the container was gone or something was keeping people from finding it. I had to try. I drove out on a Saturday in late September. The weather forecast was perfect. Clear skies, 60 degrees. I packed my hiking gear, camping equipment, my GPS unit, and enough food for 2 days. The trailhead was easy to find. An old Forest Service road that hadn't been maintained in years. My GPS said the tower was 3.8 miles in. The hike was beautiful. Dense pine forest, a creek running alongside the trail, mountains in the distance. I saw deer, heard birds. Everything was peaceful. At mile marker 3 something changed. The birdsong stopped. Just stopped. Complete silence except for my footsteps and the wind in the trees. I kept walking. The forest got darker. Denser. The trees seemed to lean in toward the trail, blocking out the sun. My GPS kept glitching. The screen would freeze, then jump ahead, then show me 50 feet off the trail when I was clearly still on it. I should have turned back. But I'd come this far. And I really wanted to be the first person to find that cache. The tower appeared through the trees around 3 p.m. It was taller than I expected. Maybe 80 feet, made of rusted steel lattice work with a small platform at the top. Ivy had grown up the entire structure, making it look like something from a post-apocalyptic video game. But there was something wrong. The door at the base, a metal maintenance door, was propped open with a rock. That didn't make sense. The cache description said the tower had been abandoned since the 1970s. No one maintained it. No one had any reason to go inside. I approached slowly, calling out, "Hello? Anyone here?" No response. I looked inside. A metal ladder going straight up to the platform. Darkness above. The air coming from inside smelled stale and wrong, like old pennies. The geocache was supposed to be hidden somewhere around the tower's base. I started searching. Under rocks, in tree hollows, inside the ivy. Nothing. An hour passed. Still nothing. I decided to try the platform at the top. Maybe the cache was up there. I started climbing. The ladder was solid despite the rust. Every 10 feet or so, I'd stop and look around, searching for any sign of a container. At the 60-foot mark, I could see over the treetops. The view was incredible. That's when I noticed something strange. There was snow on the ground around the tower. Light dusting, maybe an inch or two in a perfect circle about 50 feet in diameter. The snow stopped exactly at the tree line, like someone had drawn a border. But there hadn't been snow when I arrived. The temperature was still 60 degrees. I could see patches of green grass beyond the snow circle. I looked up at the sky. Clear blue. Not a cloud. My hands started shaking on the ladder. I climbed down as fast as I could without falling. When I reached the bottom, I didn't stop to search for the cache. I just started walking back toward the trail. But here's the thing. I couldn't leave. Every time I got about 100 yards away from the tower, I felt this overwhelming compulsion to turn around. Like I'd forgotten something crucial. Like I was abandoning something important. It wasn't a thought. It was deeper than that. A physical pull, like a magnetic force in my chest dragging me back. I tried 3 times to walk away. 3 times I ended up back at the tower, confused about why I'd returned. The sun was setting. I had maybe an hour of daylight left. That's when I saw the footprints in the snow. boot prints. Fresh ones. Leading from the tower into the tree line and then stopping. Just ending in the middle of a clear patch of snow, like whoever made them had simply disappeared mid-step. I counted the prints carefully. 14 steps away from the tower. Then nothing. I looked at my own feet. I was standing in the snow now, though I didn't remember walking into it. My boots had made no prints. I ran. This time the compulsion didn't stop me. Pure adrenaline overrode whatever was pulling me back. I sprinted down that trail like something was chasing me, didn't stop until I reached my car. I sat there with the engine running, doors locked, staring back at the trailhead. The sun had set. The forest was dark. I drove home and immediately checked the geocaching app. My attempt to find the cache wasn't logged. According to the app, I hadn't been there at all. No GPS track. No check-in. Nothing. But that wasn't the worst part. The worst part was when I looked at the cache page again. The tower in the photo wasn't covered in ivy. It was covered in snow. And there was a figure standing at the base. Too far away to make out features, but definitely a person. Just standing there, watching the camera. I checked the photo metadata. It had been uploaded 8 years ago by the cache owner. Their username was Forever Watching. Their profile showed 0 finds, 0 hides, and 0 activity besides this one cache. And their last login was exactly 8 years ago. The same day they posted the cache. I never went back. I deleted the cache from my wish list. Blocked the coordinates in my GPS, tried to forget about it. But sometimes late at night I still feel that pull in my chest. That compulsion to return. Like something is calling me back to that tower. And here's what really scares me. Last week I got a notification from the geocaching app. Someone had finally found the Forgotten Tower. Username, Jakem_87. That's my username. I logged my own find. With today's date. But I haven't been geocaching in 3 months. These were 3 stories about places that shouldn't be found. About boundaries we cross without realizing it. About the things that wait for us when we go looking for what's been forgotten. Sometimes the GPS leads you exactly where you're supposed to go. And sometimes you realize too late that you were never the one searching. You were always the one being found. If you enjoyed these stories, let me know in the comments which one disturbed you the most. And if you've ever experienced something similar, urban exploring, geocaching, or inheriting something you wish you hadn't, I want to hear about it. Just stay safe out there. And remember, some places are abandoned for a reason.